Hello, my lovely air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. First thing, my camera has an attitude of epic proportions this month. And so just forewarned, I'm not editing my videos. If the camera goes out, bear with me. My audio does stay up. I can't figure out what's actually wrong with it. So just bear with me. I do apologize. Okay, for those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. Everybody is welcome here. I'm going to be doing 3 general readings in this video. One of the readings is going to be for Gemini, one for Libra, and one for Aquarius. You will find timestamps down below. I do encourage you to watch any of the other zodiac signs that I'm also posting if you have a significant amount of any of the other zodiac signs in your chart. I am finding that there is a lot of synchronicities going on and a lot of similarities amongst the different readings. So again, general reading, some of this will resonate with some of you, but not all of you. It just means that the timing isn't quite right if it's not resonating for you. I am not a doctor, a lawyer, or a certified financial advisor, so anything that you see or hear in this video that may be construed as specific advice to you, I'm reminding you right now it's a general reading. Please tap into yourself and make decisions for your own self-interest based on your free will. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's move into the reading for Gemini. Gemini, I'm going to tap into your energy. And I'm going to be pulling 6 cards. Of course, we know that it's never 6 cards because the cards love to jump out and speak. And we're going to look at where you're at now, Gemini. That's where we're going to start your reading. I am getting called towards the Sacred Traveler. So let's start. Gemini, Sacred Traveler, where are the Geminis at now? This is being recorded at the end of February 2023. With the intention of covering the period between March 1st and March 15th. Just a reminder, Gemini, about timing. When we are dealing with and tapping into the ethereal realm, time moves at a different rate in the ethereal realm from here on our earthly realm, not elfly realm, earthly realm. And so if the timings don't exactly line up, just trust that, the timing wasn't quite right in your life, but, eventually. All right. Tapping back in again, Gemini. Where are the Geminis now? Let's try this. There we go. You have some cards that have flipped out for you. All right, there was quite a pile of them that jumped out here, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Where are the Geminis now? Where is their energy now? Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Onto the floor. Just a reminder, Gemini, I do leave all of the cards face down until I'm actually ready to read them. And this way it allows for more intuitive insight to come up about the cards rather than having them all laid out in the story in front of me. It just allows for more of the creative psychic juices to come out. All right, we're going to look at what you are focusing on, Gemini. What are the Geminis focusing on March 1st through the 15th, 2023? Thank you. We have 1 card out. Is there anything else? Nope. Okay. Let's have a look at what the difficult influences will be for you, Gemini. Difficult influences for Gemini, March 1st through the 15th. Oh, there we go. Anything else? Is there anything else? Nope. All right, we do have 2 cards. They flew out at about the same time. Let's have a look at This Makes Sense. Now, the This Makes Sense card is the card that kind of becomes the cohesion and begins to pull the rest of the reading together. And it is usually an interesting card. Oh, there's one. Is there anything else? for the Geminis. Anything else? Okay. Let's have a look at your unexpected influences. Unexpected influences. Where are we going? We're going back over here to the Osho Zen. Unexpected influences for Gemini. March 1st to the 15th. Unexpected influences. Thank you. Okay, we've got a few of them here. Okay. We do have one card that came out early. We're going to put it down, and there we go. Okay. General overall outcome. And when I look at the general overall outcome, I'm actually looking at where we project or predict your energies to be come the middle of March, because that's the intention for the timing of this reading. Where are we going for general overall outcomes? Yeah, we're going over to the fairies. For the Geminis, there's one card out already. Wow. Okay, there's another one. Anything else for the Geminis? General overall outcome. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right, we are going to stack these cards up in the way in which they came out, which means this was the last card, that one, and these two go on the bottom. Gemini. Right now, your energy is feeling a little bit fogged in. You're feeling a little bit confused, conflicted, perhaps lacking direction, feeling a little bit lost right now. When we are in the clouds, if you live at a high altitude, or when a deep fog descends upon us, we do have that tendency to begin to feel like we don't have any direction. We don't have a sense of direction. Yep, there goes the camera. See, I told you it was going to happen. All right, well, just wait a second for the camera to smarten itself up. There, see? Okay, so Geminis, you are feeling fogged in right now. As I said, this reading is being done at the end of February. And as we move into March of 2023, it's going to be interesting to see what the cards show for you. But I am sensing this sense of fogginess, confusion, lacking direction, feeling a little bit lost. This is not unexpected, Gemini, given that we are anticipating significant change happening both in the months of March and April of 2023. Although it's not my area of expertise, and I will not espouse on this and expand on this, please consult an astrologist if you so desire. But there is a celestial alignment that's going to be happening in the month of March that is predicted to bring in or be the harbinger of significant change. So it's not unexpected, especially for the Geminis in the group who are already feeling quite intuitive and in touch with the ethereal realm, for you guys to be feeling a little bit fogged in. Let's have a look at what you're focusing on. So your focus right now for March, the first half of March 2023, is great teacher and seeking out a great spiritual teacher, learning from spiritual experiences as well. This isn't just about finding a mentor. It can, for some of you, mean that you are the teacher. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This card has two meanings of both going out and finding our own spiritual teacher or mentor, or growing into the role of being a spiritual teacher or mentor for others. Keeping in mind that the message on the card is learn from spiritual experiences. And the reality is that oftentimes students teach teachers as much as teachers teach students. Okay, so sometimes it's not always about being a student. Sometimes we can learn when we step into the role of being the teacher as well. Let's have a look at your difficult influences. Okay, difficult influences for March 1st through the 15th, Gemini. You have intensity here. This is an indication that there may be some intense moments. I do want to say, now, Normally, this is from the suit of wands, which corresponds to fire. And normally that particular suit of the tarot corresponds to work or career. However, intuitively, what I'm picking up for you, Gemini, is that this is actually more of an emotional intensity. This is in your difficult influences. So I am sensing that there is this emotional intensity that may come up for you, or an emotional happening or occurrence that may come up for you in the first half of March, Gemini. And there's going to be this desire almost on your part to react with this emotional intensity. And as this is in your difficult influences, that's not being encouraged. Okay. The other card that you have here is the Queen of Pentacles, the equivalent to the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Rainbows in this particular deck. It is all about flowering and coming into our own. Okay. This is in your difficult influences. So this card actually being read in the difficult influences isn't necessarily about coming into our own. It's about confusion about coming into our own, right? And that explains why there's this fogged in card for you, is that you recognize that there is a queen within you, that queen energy of being that strong, powerful, feminine. We're not talking male or female. This applies to both males and females, but bringing about that strong female energy of being compassionate, being powerful, being intuitive. Okay. And what this card is saying in your difficult influences is that you're having a little difficulty stepping into that role of being that powerful feminine, being that powerful intuitive. So yeah, let's move on, Gemini, and have a look at the cards that came up, and this makes sense, right? And this does make sense. So you have the desert, which is thirst. And you have the mountain, which is about setting intentions. This makes sense with the other cards that have come up before we go into unexpected influences and your ultimate outcome. This makes sense with the beginning portion of your reading. You are thirsting for more right now. Okay. You're seeking more. But the issue is that without clear intentions, when you've got this fogged in happening, and when you've got this sort of inability to come into your own and bloom into that flower, it does indicate that perhaps there is a lack of clear intention right now. Perhaps you're being pulled in a number of different directions. And given that where I'm going with this reading seems to be all over the place as well, I'm picking up on that energy, Gemini, that there's no clear intentions right now. You're thirsting for more. You're thirsting for more knowledge is what I'm really picking up. I am picking up that this is more about knowledge and, where are we going in the world? What's happening in the world? There are changes coming, and what's happening. That's also where this fogged in is coming from. And it's also this teacher card, right? Because when we're at that place in our lives, when we are seeking a mentor or seeking to become a mentor, then it's an indication that we're thirsting for more, this desert card. But if we don't have a clear intention on what we are thirsting for, if we're not being specific, again, it's bringing up this energy of lack of direction. Unexpected. Wow, this is fascinating. Okay, unexpected insights. As I mentioned here, in your difficult insights, you've got the flowering card. This card is the equivalent to the Queen of Pentacles, also known as the Queen of Rainbows. Now, in your unexpected insights, you have, guess what? 3 more rainbows. The chances of this happening are very, very slim. Now, the rainbows or the pentacles refer to the element of earth, but they also refer to finances, and money. Yep, there goes the camera again. See, I told you this was going to happen more than once. Okay, camera. You can reset anytime. Thank you, camera. Okay, so the pentacles or the earth or the rainbows does refer to money. And so going back to this card as well, like I said, I am more sensing this is a lack of direction, but lack of direction, you know, including abundance and where that's going to come from. So let's have a look at what you've got in unexpected insights. You've got ripeness. This makes perfect sense when you consider you're coming from this fogged in, okay? You're seeking a teacher or a mentor. You are thirsting for more, and you're being told to get more clear with your intentions. It makes sense that you've got the ripeness card. This means that as this reading is for March 1st through March 15th, something is ripening. It's almost there. It's ready for the taking, Gemini. This is wonderful. And guess what card you have here? You have the card that's the equivalent to the King of Pentacles or the King of Rainbows. This is abundance. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And how do we achieve all of this abundance and flowering and ripeness that's coming in? We step back. We step back once to our Prince of Pentacles, slowing down, represented here by the tortoise. Okay. The best way to be able to achieve and bring all of this to fruition is definitely by slowing down and stepping into these roles, getting that really clear picture, coming out of this fog and stepping into the intentions of the mountain. Okay. When you do that, I mean, these cards are speaking about untold abundance coming to you. And what do we have here? We have the Ace of Spring, also known as the Ace of Wands. Time to take action. This is a card of action, and it is a card of new beginnings. Right next to the Ace of Spring, we have strength, indicating that you do have the strength as well as the courage of this lion down here to be able to achieve the goals. But what I'm picking up from all of this is that your intentions are not clear yet. And once you get clear intention, these are the cards that are coming out for you. And as I said, the final cards of your reading are about where you're going to be at, where you're projected to be at come the middle of March. You have the Five of Spring. Now, the Five of Spring, the fives, when they come up in the tarot, is when we reach that point in our development or our growth in that particular suit, and we kind of go, oh, I could go this way or this way. There's some opposing views. And that's exactly what this card is about. It's about, you know, the spring is the equivalent to the wands. It's about taking action. But as we take action and begin to move forward, we will reach that point on our path of questioning, is this the right path? Am I taking the right actions right now? So that will come into play. But the ultimate outcome, the final card of your reading, Gemini, for the March 1st to the 15th, is to follow your passions with regards to your career. Okay. This is where you're going to find that direction and that intention to be able to get out of the fog. This Three of Autumn, also known as the Three of Pentacles. This is yet another pentacle for you. Remember all these pentacles and this pentacle? Yes, you do in fact have a pentacle as your final card in the reading. And this card is all about finding that direction. And when you have that clear sense of your direction, nothing is going to stop you. You've got that Ace of Spring, new beginnings. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, Gemini. Thank you for putting up with my wonky camera. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you'll join me again in mid-March for your next reading. If you would like to support my channel, you can hit the like. I would greatly appreciate that. And I have also recently set it up so that I am able to accept crypto tips. And the information for that is in the description box. Thank you again. We'll see you in mid-March. Okay, Libras, let's jump into it. Let me just tell you, my camera has an attitude. There it goes. I knew that was going to happen. I must be psychic or something. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, please bear with me. I hope that you'll stick with me for this really important reading for you, Libra, but my camera has been doing this throughout everyone's readings this month, and I apologize. And I know that if I just leave it for a couple of minutes, it works itself out. So Libra, I forgot to mention in the introduction, for those of you who are new here, I do leave the cards down, face down, so that I can't read them ahead of time and jump ahead. This does allow for more profound, intuitive, and psychic insights to come in during the reading. Okay, without any further ado, let's move on. Libra, let's tap into your energy. The first card that we are going to pull is Where is Libra Now? This is being recorded at the very end of February 2023. So let's have a look at where the Libras are at now, where your energy is at now, what you're concentrating on now. We do have quite a number of cards that decided to jump out. One landed exactly in the right spot, and we have 3 more that jumped out. Let's have a look at what you're focusing on. Ooh, that was a strong call over to the fairies here, Libra. What are you focusing on for the first half of March 2023? We do have a few cards that have jumped out here. Is there anything else for the Libras? Anything else? Okay. The next cards that we're going to pull are the cards that indicate the difficult influences that you may be facing March 1st through the 15th of 2023. So let's just shuffle a little bit here and let's get started. Okay, Libra. Okay, that was interesting. Half the deck fell out. I'm not quite sure I'm going to be reading that many. And we have a few more cards that have come out. Okay. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stack up all of these cards that have come out for you, Libra, and we will shuffle the smaller portion of the deck and see what comes out. Difficult influences for Libra. First half of March 2023. Do we have, there we go. Is there anything else? One more time. No. Okay, we do have our cards here. There's 2 cards that have come out for you, Libra. Let's have a look at the card that makes sense. Now, the card that makes sense is the card that starts to bind everything together. Let's have a look at this makes sense for Libra, first half of March 2023. And we've got cards jumping out. Okay, we do have quite a number of cards. How many have actually jumped out? 4 cards. Have a look. Are we reading all 4 of these cards? I'm getting a firm no. All right, which one of these cards is the card for Libra? Okay, that explains it. These cards will not join the other card at the moment. Okay, let's move into your unexpected insights. Pull a card or 2 for unexpected insights. Where are we going? And over here to the Osho Zen again. They seem to have a lot to want to say today. Anything else for the Libras? One more card. Oh, we got 2 more cards that have jumped out here. Wow, Libra. That will be the last card. We're going to just flip these over in the order in which they came out. We do have one more card here. All right, let's have a look at your general overall outcome. Now, the general overall outcome that I'm going to be pulling for you, Libra, is intended to be where you will be at come mid-March, right around March 15th. Is there anything else for the Libras? Okay, I am sensing, I've got one card that has jumped out here, but being told that there is definitely one more card in here for you, Libra. I can speak English. Okay. What else is in here for the Libras? There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I knew that there was a couple more cards in there for you for your general overall outcome. Okay, Libra, let's start reading your cards. Where are you at now? Okay. Okay. We've got 4 cards that came out. You are in that place where you are nourishing yourself. This is the card of rice. This is about nourishing yourself, taking care of your own needs, moving into that place of genuine self-care. You are also in a place of initiation where we're moving into a new cycle and new things. And quite often when we move into new cycles, there is a time for initiation. Okay. And sometimes it can feel like we're in a deep, dark cave as we now I've got the hiccups, as we navigate this new world that we're moving into and our new way of doing things. Interestingly, right next to that, you also have the lightning card. This is a card of major change and upheaval, of things like all of a sudden the light bulb goes on, so to speak. All of a sudden it's like, wow, how did I not see that before? Okay. So that is a card of almost revelations and new things coming along. And you are releasing. You've got this volcano. Now, there's a couple of different things I do want to go into with the volcano. The volcano is can be an indication of releasing, right? Releasing pressure. It's also in the context of these other cards that you have. You are releasing the past. As you are looking after yourself better, you're going through this initiation period. There is this huge aha moment, and you're finally able to release the past, and you are releasing it explosively. Like you're just, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the past. You know, you're going to blow that top off and never look back. So Libra, interesting start. Let's have a look at what you're focusing on. Oh, beautiful cards for focus. Okay. You have the sun and you also have the 2 of spring. The 2 of spring does correspond to the 2 of wands in the traditional deck, or the 2 of fire. And both of these cards have really, really positive meanings behind them. The sun is considered the happiest card in the deck. Yes, Libra. It's all about plans working out perfectly for you, rewards, recommendations coming in. Everything is beautiful, and the sun is just shining down blessings on you. The 2 of spring. This card is an interesting card, and it can be a card of duality. Okay. Well, at the same time, the 2 of spring represents new beginnings. It's the card that comes immediately after the ace of spring. The ace of spring is definitely new beginnings. This is about stepping further into or deeper into a new beginning. But this is a card of needing to put the work in. Okay. And it is a card of duality, being a 2. So there's that, okay, I've put all this work in. Where's my reward? Okay. So what you are actually focusing on for the beginning or first half of March. Oh, look at that. Don't I look funny in the camera doing that? Oh, come on, camera. Come on. Reset. There we go. Okay. What you're actually focusing on, Libra, is both really, really positive outcomes, having the sunshine down on your manifestations. But the Two of Spring is reminding you that there is work that you need to put into it. You know, you can't just sit back in the lotus position and go into the Gaya Mudra and sing Om all day while visualizing what you want. The Two of Spring is saying, you're going to have to get up and actually put in the hard work. And there are going to be moments in that duality where you're going to question if the work you're putting in is worth the reward or lack thereof in the early days. Okay. Ultimately, the sun is saying, yes, it will be worth it. But there is that duality coming up. Let's have a look at your difficult influences. Okay, difficult influences. You have a dream, and this is what I was alluding to over here with the Two of Spring. You are attempting to manifest something. You do have a dream. The Two is telling you, make sure you're putting in the work. And as I mentioned, you cannot just sit in that dream state of Om and it's going to manifest. That's not going to happen. Okay, this is the equivalent to the Six of Cups. It is about going with the flow, but it is a reminder that dreams don't manifest on their own. Where it's coming up in your reading is a difficult influence. So this is a reminder. You can't just sit and wait. The other card that you have in your difficult influences is the Thunderbolt. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't you have one of those? And you also had a volcano, but you had a lightning bolt. You've also got more lightning bolts. Oh, Libra, what this is telling me is that you are in for some pretty drastic changes in the first half of March, not entirely unexpected, honestly. We've been saying for several months that there are significant changes coming in March and flowing into April for many of the zodiac signs, for many of the people on this planet. You know, Thunderbolt coming up here, more Thunderbolts coming up here. You do have significant change coming up, Libra. Now, this card came up in your difficult influences. So what this is telling me is that when this change happens, it's probably going to rock your world and it's going to make you feel uncomfortable for a period of time. This is in your difficult influences. Okay. Is this a bad thing? No, absolutely not. Because I do suspect that the rest of the cards are going to indicate that there will be positive outcome, especially considering your focus is the sun. You are focusing on good things, but there is this change and this shift that has to happen. And honestly, it's not just you, Libra. Everyone is going to go through it. It's just a question of how it's going to affect us. This is an indication that it may be a little bit jarring and jolting for you, but the overall outcome, you know, I'm not to those cards yet, but the overall outcome will be positive. Now, in your This Makes Sense card, you have the Elder, and the Elder is all about moving past the ancestral patterns that we have. Do you know what this card means? It means moving out of the past, moving out of our old ways of doing things. And the more quickly that you do this, and the more easily that you begin to let go of the past, it no longer serves your highest good. As you do that, this will be much easier for you. I did already mention that this volcano is about release, right? Letting go of the past. So like I said, the This Makes Sense card is going to start to tie everything together, and it does, because I can pull out any of the other cards that have come up and tie them into this. Letting go of ancestral patterns that no longer serve your highest good. Unexpected influences. We have just a pile of cards to get through here for you. just looking at them really, really quickly. You've got the rebel there, Libra. There is going to be this part of you that is going to want to resist this change. Okay. You can resist it if you want, but it's coming anyway. This thunderbolt and this breakthrough are indicating that this is coming anyway, regardless of what you want to do or how you want to treat it. And I did mention this. If you go on with this rebel energy, it's going to just create bigger speed bumps in the road for you to have to navigate. It is going to be an adventure for you. You know, that's one of the unexpected insights. And if you are prepared for adventure and get excited about the adventure, it is going to have that positive outcome, because you will ultimately integrate into this new way of being. Now, remember, the integration card is a card of the yin and the yang, and the sun and the moon, and polar opposites, right? So what this card is telling me is that for the first half of March, March 1st through the 15th, Libra, there is going to be this push and this pull energy for you, this pull into the rebel energy of resisting, while at the same time, this pull into the elder of letting go of the past. There, you are going to be experiencing this, the yin and the yang. But there is guidance for you. You will come to an understanding, new vision, and ultimately, silence. The silence card is a card of coming to that place of acceptance. Okay, so with this many cards coming out for you, Libra, in your unexpected influences, they did come out in an order that can make sense and that can flow through your life. You are going to go through that period of being the rebel, and it is going to be an adventure. You're going to go through that sense of duality. Remember, I said there was going to be duality for you. This is another card of duality. But ultimately, with guidance and understanding, the outcome is really going to be beautiful. Okay, let's have a look. I want to point out as well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Interestingly, with a lot, as with many of the readings that I've been doing, I want to point out this. In a tarot deck, there are 22 cards of the major arcana. The chances of one reading having at least 5 cards from the major arcana is very, very slim, Libra. Now, I have said this in some of the other readings that I've done. I am repeating this here for you specifically, Libra. There are cards that have almost the identical meanings in the minor arcana and the major arcana. Oh, you know what? You do have actually another major arcana here as well. The minor arcana is your mom saying, hey, can you do something for me? Okay. The major arcana is your mom raising her voice and using all of your names, your first, middle, several middle names, and your last name, and saying, do it. Okay. And incidentally, Libra, you happen to have 5 of these kind of shouty cards. Okay. One of them being this card, which is the equivalent to the Tower. And then these other major arcana cards. So you are kind of being shouted at right now. Integrate things. You are going to go through that rebel stage, but ultimately there's going to be new vision and then silence. Okay. Let's have a look at your final overall outcome. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely crazy because you happen to have 3 more major arcana cards. Unbelievable. All right, let's see if any of these other major arcana cards That card is 14. Ooh, you do. This integration card is balance in your final overall outcome. Remember what I said about this card? This is the card of the yin and the yang, bringing into balance. You've got the sun and the moon, and it's about integrating, and we can't integrate without balance. The very, very final card of your reading, Libra, is the balance card again. Okay. When you find that balance in your life, beautiful things are going to happen. I'm just quickly going through the other major arcana cards that you have. Interesting. This is the number 12. You've also got the number 12 reiterating itself in your final outcome. And what was the final card here? Yeah, so that one doesn't correspond. So it's interesting that you do have more major arcana cards coming out here, a little bit shouty at you, Libra. But overall, a beautiful outcome for the balance. Take everyone's input into consideration, merge viewpoints for a beautiful outcome. There's no need to rush. You also have the Two of Summer. Now, remember that I said that there are cards in the minor arcana that correspond to the major arcana. This card is the minor arcana of the Lovers. This is the equivalent to the Two of Cups. So this card is indicating that for those of you who are single, there is an opportunity for a new love interest to come in for you come mid-March. For those of you who are either already in a committed relationship or single and not looking, this card can indicate someone new coming into your life who will either be a mentor or who will be a good business partner. This is a card of partnership. So that's positive for you. This card here is the equivalent to the New Vision card here. And the meaning behind both of them is you're going to see things from a different perspective. You're going to see things with new vision. And when you do, there's the shifts and the magic are going to happen. This card in your final outcome, Libra, is all about strength. You have the strength to get through this. You have the courage of this strong lion here. I do encourage you to watch some of the other videos because this card has come out for almost every single solitary zodiac sign this month. Okay, not necessarily in the position of overall outcome, but this card has come out for almost everyone. So this card is a reiteration. We have the strength within ourselves. You have the Princess of Summer here in your final overall outcome. Again, this is a reiteration of new emotional connections for you. Invitations to events, social events. And this card is also a card of compassion. Okay. The Princess of Summer is compassionate. So as you are going through all of these changes and shifts, all of these tower moments and these lightning moments and breakthroughs, keep in mind that others are going through this as well. And so bring in this Princess of Summer and this compassion into everything that you do. And in the end, you're going to find balance. You're going to find that balance that you're looking for. And Libra, what is the sign of Libra? Oh, right. It's about the scales. Balancing the scales. When Libra is balanced, it brings balance to many of the other signs in the zodiac. And so this is a good omen for a positive outcome for everyone, Libra. Thank you very much for joining me here this month. I will see you again in mid-March for the next video. If you like this video and it did resonate with you, please give me a like. Also, I have set up the ability to be able to accept tips in crypto. So if you are so inclined, there are details down below in the description. Thank you again. Let me just slide my mouse over. See you next month. Hello, Aquarius. My camera's probably going to glitch here, so I'm saying this really, really quickly. Please bear with me. There it goes. Oh my goodness. Thank you for bearing with me, Aquarius. My camera will likely do this at least once or twice more during your reading. Please bear with me. I have not been able to figure out what is going on. I do know that it does quickly reset itself and my audio continues to function. So I apologize. Okay. For those of you who are new here, let me just reiterate that as I'm pulling cards, I do leave them face down and I don't turn them over until I'm actually ready to read that card. And the reason that I do that is because it allows for more intuitive and psychic insights to come up and be integrated into your reading rather than me seeing everything all laid out in front. I do find that it makes the readings a little bit more interesting and exciting. Okay, Aquarius. One more thing for those of you who are not aware, I too am an Aquarius. A lot of Aquarius in my chart. So this is my reading as well. Let's get started. Aquarius, where are we at right now? This is a card of where we are at right now, end of February, as this video is being recorded. These fairies are just laying. All right, lay these cards out. Let's have a look, Aquarius, at what you're focusing on. What are the Aquarians focusing on for the first half of March 2023? Aquarius, what are you focusing on? First half of March. Uh-oh. All right. Excuse me. I'm going to pick the cards up off the floor. We do have two cards here. Let's have a look at difficult influences. What is going to be difficult for the Aquariuses? Oh, again, right onto the floor. What is going to be part of difficult influences for Aquarius? Really? Wow. Aquarius, I think we might be facing some difficult influences here. All right, I think I'm going to have to, there's no way that we are facing that many difficult influences. I've got about 25 or 30 cards here. So what we are going to do is pick up the very first card that popped out and flew onto the floor. I'm going to keep that card. I do believe that that card has a very strong message, but I'm going to collect up the rest of these cards because I really don't want to read this many difficult influences. It just doesn't make sense. So using the smaller portion of the deck from the cards that flipped out, Osho Zen Tarot, Spirit, please help us determine the difficult influences for Aquarius for the first half of March 2023. Okay, one more time. Yeah, there we go. All right. We have two more cards to join the other one. Let's have a look at this point at the card that makes sense. Oh, I have not been called to use this deck very much. It is a traditional tarot deck. Let me just cleanse it and clear it a little bit before we use it because it hasn't been used for a few days. Okay. What makes sense for Aquarius? March 1st through the 15th. Thank you. Is there anything else? What makes sense for Aquarius? Oh, again. Cards on the floor again. Okay. So we do have one card that jumped right out, stayed on my desk, and we have another 8 or 10 cards that flew onto the floor. Let's see. My light is fading fast. I do prefer to do my videos in natural lights, so we might experience a little bit of darkness by the end of this video. There we go. Okay. Goes back over there. Let's have a look at unexpected influences. What is unexpected for Aquarius? Fairies or Osho Zen? Osho Zen. Zen really, really wants to talk to you, Aquarius. Unexpected influences March 1st through the 15th, 2023 for Aquarius. Okay. Okay. This was the first batch to pop out, and the second batch. We have a total of 4 cards here. Okay. Final few cards for Aquarius. Now, this is your final outcome for March 1st through the 15th. What we're actually looking at is kind of where your energies are going to be at, or predicted to be at come the middle of March. Yep. Anything else? Is there anything else that Aquarius needs to know? Okay. So we do have a couple more cards here. Okay. Aquarius, where are you at now? Ooh. We have the Sun, also known as the happiest card in the deck, coming out. So this is telling me, Aquarius, that you are in a good place right now. You're in a relatively happy place. Your birthday has just gone by. For some people, I do want to say that for some Aquarians, the birthday is a stressful time. And now that it's in the past for another year, you're able to move forward and look forward. The Sun indicates that plans and intentions are coming together beautifully for you. You also have the Princess of Summer. This is also known as the Princess of Cups. It indicates that there's a new relationship or a new emotional experience on the horizon for you, Aquarius. For those of you who are already in a committed relationship, or for those of you who are single but not necessarily looking, this card can also indicate that there is someone new coming into your life, not necessarily a romantic interest, but somebody who's coming into your life for the purposes of teaching you something, a mentor, a teacher, or it could even indicate that there is a business partner on the horizon. So that is where you're at now, and potentially even what you're working towards manifesting. Let's have a look at what you're focusing on, Aquarius, or what you need to focus on. Okay. Aquarius, what you need to focus on, you need to focus on letting go of your need to be right all the time. Now, you also are focusing on the trader and recognizing that there needs to be an exchange of energy in order to create abundance. Interesting cards for you, Aquarius. There's a lot of people out there who say that Taurus, the bull, is the most stubborn sign of the zodiac. I would disagree. We Aquarians can be stubborn to infinity and beyond. Sorry, Buzz Lightyear. This card is encouraging us against our need to be right. And this is what we need to focus on for the first half of March 2023 in order for us to be able to continue our own spiritual growth and moving on. The other thing that we need to be focusing on is this trader. We need to recognize our own worth. Okay. Fellow Aquarians, this card is indicating that sometimes we fail to recognize our own worth. We don't charge for our services, we give them away. And we don't recognize that when we value ourselves and charge for our services, what we are actually doing is creating abundance for ourselves, but we're also encouraging others to value themselves and create abundance for themselves as well. So this is what we are focusing on. Let's have a look at our difficult influences. Okay, one of the difficult influences that we have is this number 5, no thingness. This corresponds to the Hierophant in the traditional tarot. And what this card is indicating for us is that we may end up bumping into traditional and traditional institutions. Okay, the Hierophant represents traditional institutions such as church, school, places of higher learning. And the fact that they are very set in their ways and it's their way or the highway, and there's only one way to do things. So Aquarius, this is what you may be bumping into as a difficult influence this week, or this first 2 weeks of March, is bumping into the tenets of these teachings that you have probably received most of your life. I'm losing light really quickly here. You are going to be bumping into these tenets, and the idea behind this card of no thingness is for you to be able to go within, go into nothingness, and determine what's right for you. This is in your difficult influences, which means that you're going to be bumping up against those institutions and what they teach and what's true and right for you, Aquarius. You're going to be bumping up against creativity. Okay, your creativity may not be as expansive as it normally would be, Aquarius, at this time for the first 2 weeks of March. You also have the new vision card. This new vision card corresponds to the Hanged Man in the traditional tarot. Not surprising that you need to see things differently. This is coming up in your difficult influences, which means that you're still seeing things from the Hierophant's way of doing things. You're still seeing things the old way. You haven't moved into the new way of doing things yet. And you're bumping up against being able to see things the way that they're going to be in the future. And this is going to lead you into a place of sorrow. Okay. Does all of this have to play out for us? Do we have to struggle against our creativity? No. But when it comes up and when we recognize that we're bumping up against our creativity, we're not being as creative as we can go back to this video and go, yeah, I knew that was going to come up. Okay, that means that in that area of my life, I just need to work a little bit harder. I am just going to go flip on a light here and see if I can improve things. My camera is going to glitch again, just warning you. Okay, we do have a little bit more light on the subject. Okay. See, I told you it was going to glitch again. Okay, Aquarius, the other thing that I do want to point out with these 3 cards that have come up for you is that in the tarot, there are 22 cards that are part of the major arcana. You got 3 in one area of your reading. Now, the major arcana is like somebody yelling at us. Instead of just asking us to do something nicely, it's like somebody yelling at us, hey, get this done. And so these 3 major arcana cards coming up in your difficult influences is telling you, hey, you know what? You're going to bump up against these institutions, religious institutions, educational institutions, and their teachings this month. And you need to pay attention to that. There goes the camera again. We'll just wait till it resets. You're going to bump into and bump up against these institutions, and you are being called towards going within and determining what's right for you. Okay. See things from a new perspective, from a new vision. Let's move on to what makes sense. What makes sense? Oh, interesting. Guess what? We have another 9. 9 of Wands. Wow. In your difficult influences, you do have the Sorrow card. It's the equivalent to the 9 of Swords. Now, in your This Makes Sense, you do have the 9 of Wands coming up. Now, Wands corresponds to fire, corresponds to action, things that you're supposed to be doing. This card makes sense because it's letting you know that you are in a strong position. The 9 of Wands indicates that you're in a strong position to be able to move forward. You have courage under fire. Wonderful energy for you, Aquarius, given some of your difficult influences here. You also have This is funny. You also have the Lovers coming up. Interesting that you have the Lovers card coming up. You also had the Princess of Cups or Princess of Summer back at the very start of this reading, indicating that there is some new relationship coming in for you. As I previously mentioned, for those of you already in committed relationships, Aquarius, this indicates that there's probably somebody new coming in or a shift, and it's a shift in a positive direction for your relationship. If you're already in a committed relationship, if you are single and looking, wow, the Lovers are coming in for you. This makes sense for you at this time. And for those of you who are single and not looking, the Lovers can indicate that there is, there's a mentor or a teacher or a business partner coming in for you. That makes sense. Okay, unexpected influences. Oh, neat. You do have one more major arcana card. You've got the inner voice card coming in for your unexpected influences. This card is reminding you, Aquarius, that you do need to step into this silence. Okay, you need to start seeing things from a different perspective, and you do need to, where was the card I was going to grab? Okay, you do need to step into this quietness and begin to listen to your inner voice. And this coming up in your unexpected influences is telling me, Aquarius, that the first 2 weeks of March, it will become easier for you to listen to this inner voice, which is great. You also have the ripeness card. The ripeness card is indicating that Lovers is ripe. This is also indicating that business could be good. And so long as you keep this trader in mind and continue to focus on the need for there to be an exchange in order to create abundance, this ripeness card indicates additional abundance coming your way. All right. Overall general outcome, Aquarius. We have the Four of Pentacles, Four of Autumn. This is a card about your money and your finances. You are being reminded to manage your resources wisely. You need to create a balance in your finances. Now, as I said, these two cards sometimes tie into everything else, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes this is moving into the prediction for the last half of March. And there goes the camera again. Come on, camera. All right. Let's try turning you off and on again. Have you tried turning it off and on again? And now the camera's not picking up any light. Let's just get through this, Aquarius. I am so sorry. Okay. This Four of Autumn is indicating that moving into mid-March and moving into late March, you do have to watch your finances. And you also have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords indicates that there is going to be a weight lifted off your shoulders, Aquarius, that there is going to be a resolution to difficulties for you. I know for myself, I am looking down the barrel at a very stressful situation. It has affected my health the last couple of days. That's why these videos are late coming out. And this is a beautiful card to have for our last card of the reading going into mid-March 2023. It is a card of resolution, end of codependency, and the resolution of difficulties. So, Aquarius, a beautiful reading. You do have some work to do. You do need to start seeing things from a new perspective in order to get this new vision. Listen to your inner voice a little bit more, but overall, a beautiful reading for you, Aquarius. If this reading resonated with you, despite all of the visual distractions, please support this video by giving a like. Also, if you are so inclined, I have set it up so that I'm able to accept tips in crypto, and the details are down below. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you come mid-March. Take care.